All right, let's start. People seem to be sort of trickling in and pace is starting to slow. Welcome to this housing webinar for Tampere universities. My name is Tiina Nilsson and I work at the university, Tampere University, and I'm coordinating this info. First of all, congratulations on your acceptance to your university. And there are prospective students from 2 universities present today. From Tampere University, where I work for, and then I have a couple of colleagues from Tampere University of Applied Sciences, or as you may know it, TAMK here. I have Piri Hiltunen, maybe Piri can, yes, hello. And then I have Mirja Onduso. Mirja is waving there. And then naturally I have the sort of the real stars of the day from the housing organizations, Amanda Joutimiettinen from TOAS and Nelli Jokelainen from POAS. And first, a couple of words on the webinar practicalities today. Good to mention first, this webinar is being recorded, as you see from the small red dots on your Zooms. And we're only addressing housing-related issues today. As mentioned, there are possible future students for 2 universities, and the practices or processes of, for example, accepting students or accepting your study place, etc., are slightly different. So we don't want to share the wrong information for anyone. So we're only focusing on housing issues today. And maybe sort of one of the most important thing today, listen first. All of you will have a million questions in your mind, but most likely you will get an answer for your question in the webinar. The presentations from TOAS and POAS basically cover everything that you need to know about student housing in Tampere and how to apply for student housing. But in case you don't get an answer, you can use the chat for questions as well. And do note that the sort of the real experts on housing are having the presentations, so they cannot answer at the same time. So you might have to wait until the end of the presentation to actually get an answer if your question is not covered in the presentation. And naturally, if you don't get an answer today to your question, you can always email your questions to the housing providers or to your own university, and we will help you then further. And as a last reminder, remember not to share your personal information in the chat. But then on to the real topic of today, i.e. student housing. First, we have Amanda talking about TOAS practicalities, and then Nelli on the POAS practicalities. And Amanda, you're maybe ready to share there.
Yes, thank you. Okay. All right, I hope you can see what I'm sharing.
Yes, it's perfect.
Excellent. So, hello everyone. I'm Amanda from TOAS, and I work here as the Service and Development Manager. And I will be telling you lots of information what you need to know now before applying for the housing, what possibilities you have, what you will need to know when you come here, and so on. So lot of information here, and then I will answer to your questions in the chat after my presentation. So let's see, just a second. Okay, are you seeing now the second slide? Okay. Yes, excellent. Okay, so first about TOAS. We are an independent student housing foundation here in Tampere, and we provide accommodation only for students. Currently, we have over 6,400 apartments, which then accommodate over 10,000 tenants here in Tampere. And I can tell you a bit in general about the rental level here in Tampere so that you can get a bit wider picture of the level here. So in the private market, the price of a studio apartment where you have your own individual kitchen and your own individual bathroom is about from 600 to maybe 900. It could be even more per month in the city center. So about that level. And if you're talking about a family apartment, which is a bit bigger, maybe one bedroom and living room, then it's over 800 euros. So from 800 to like at least 1,000, of course, depending on how big the apartment is. And here at TOAS, the cheapest option that we have is a room in a shared apartment. So that means that you have your own personal room that can be locked, bedroom, and then you share the kitchen and the bathroom with at least one or two or possibly even three other students at the same time. So then you'll have the common areas to share. And that's the most affordable option, and the rent is at the cheapest is about 250 euros per month, but that is outside the city center area. And the most expensive ones are like 400, even 500 euros per month. But then mostly the expensive ones are located in the city center and might be a bit bigger apartments. Our studio apartments are from 350 to 700 euros per month, mostly unfurnished ones. And then the family apartments from about 450 to 900 euros per month. And indeed, the cheapest options are always located outside the city center area. So always when you come to the city center area, then it's always a bit more pricey. And of course, we cannot guarantee anyone that you will get an apartment from a specific rental level, because these are just like examples of what is like existing. But of course, there is a very limited availability in every rental level. So that's something that we cannot guarantee to anyone. At TOAS, we have two application options, which you can see here. This is a print screen photo from our website. So you have two options, but you can only use one of these application types. So now I will explain both of these options, and before you apply, you need to decide which one you want to proceed with. So you cannot use both of them at the same time, only one of these. Okay, option number one is the application for the furnished rooms, which is of course the recommended option and the most popular option when you are coming from outside of Finland. And of course you need something with furniture. First of all, the application is currently closed. It will open next Monday, May 5th on our website. You can see information on our website about that. And you can submit this application after you have been accepted to the university as a student, as you already have. This application does not offer any family apartments. So if you are coming with your spouse or with your children, with your family, then do not use this application, because this is only for like individual bedrooms for one person in the shared apartments mainly. So this is only for you who are coming alone. And then the question, what does a furnished room mean? It means that when you apply with this application, you will get an offer for a room that is always furnished. So there will be a bed with a mattress, there will be a desk, chair, a bookshelf, and then there will be mostly also something in the kitchen, like a kitchen table and chairs and so on. But if we are talking about an unfurnished apartment means that there is no bed or anything in the room. But in this application, the rooms are always furnished. And we do have a list of the locations where we provide these furnished rooms. So you can have a look already on our website on what options you have, what locations, what kind of rents, so on, when you choose this application. You can make wishes. So if you have a certain location that you want, or you have some wishes about the maximum rent, or you have some friends that you want to live with, you can write these on the application. So of course you can make wishes, but because there will be a very, very, very limited availability, we cannot, of course, guarantee to fulfill all of these wishes because there will be more applicants than we will have the actual available apartments. So there won't be enough furnished rooms for all applicants. So that's why don't try to make too precise wishes, but you can have some wishes, but just so that you know that we can't guarantee to fulfill all of them. Okay, so the application will start next week, and then the possible offer, it will be sent to you via email approximately within 2 to 6 weeks after applying. The reason is that there will be hundreds and hundreds of applications, and we will need to proceed manually them all. So that's why students will get their offers in very different times, of course, because we do them manually. So don't be surprised if your friend gets an offer before you and so on, because there will be a massive amount of applications that we need to go through. The tenancy agreements will be made mainly from August 1st onwards. Our location in the city center called Pinia is an exception because those rooms will be available from the mid of August or from the 1st of September. So if you are wishing for Pinia, then the agreement will start from one of these days. But mostly all the agreements otherwise will start from the 1st of August. Do the application only once, so don't submit it twice or more because always when you make a new application, it will delete the previous one, and then of course the new application will be always at the bottom of the list because it's the newest one. So don't do that. Make it only once and then wait for the possible offer. You will receive a confirmation email once you have successfully done the application, and you will see like a thank you on the site when you have done it. So you will know that it's done, but don't do it again if you forgot, for example, to write your address correctly or something. Don't do it again because then it will delete it, and then you will be at the bottom of the queue. And you can get only one offer per application, so no second offers. And of course, there will be lots of new international students, and then of also the exchange students. So there will be lots of new applicants, which means that we will also receive quite a lot of emails about this. So we ask you to just wait patiently after applying, and we will give you an update at some point. So it might take some weeks, but you will get some kind of a reply anyway. And unfortunately, this application can't be followed up online, so you cannot like see any queue numbers or anything like that. You can just, once you applied, then you have to just wait for an answer. Okay, so this was the option number one. So this was the furnished room. Then there is the second one, which is the regular apartment application, which normally the Finnish students use. And this is for unfurnished apartments. So shared apartment, studio, family apartment, there will be no beds, no tables, no chair, nothing. Of course, the kitchens are always equipped with like a generator, a stove, an oven, but not like any furniture in other kind. And this is something that also you can apply after you have been accepted, and you can have individual application for shared apartments, studios, and family apartments. So those are applied in individual different applications. But what you need to notice here is that if you decide to proceed with this application, first of all, you are applying with all the Finnish students. And then, especially if you're planning to apply for a studio apartment, the waiting time is at least 6 months or even more. A room in a shared apartment, this time of the year now, before the summer, we still have available ones, unfurnished ones. But then in the summer, when all the Finnish students will have their acceptances for the university as well, then we will have a massive amount of applications for the unfurnished shared rooms, shared apartments as well. So then it will be more difficult to get a room in a shared apartment as well. If you are coming with the family or with the spouse, then this is what you need to do. So then you will need to choose this application, the regular apartment application for the unfurnished family apartments. And you can apply for how many buildings you want. You can apply only for one. You can apply for all of them. The more locations you put on your application, like possible buildings where you might get an offer from, the better chances you have in getting something quickly. Because if you apply for only one building, for example, then of course it will take more time because the range of apartments that we can actually offer to you is a lot smaller than if you have like 20 buildings that you are applying for. But this is the application you need to use if you are coming with a spouse or with family children. So then apply with the family apartment application. If you are planning to apply for an unfurnished studio, just be prepared that it will take at least 6 months. So you will not get it before August. You can apply for the room in a shared apartment. Depending on when you do the application, you might get the offer before August, or if you wait too long to make the application, it might take a couple of months. But yeah, you can only choose one of the furnished or unfurnished. So you need to make the decision before you start to apply. The unfurnished apartments, the tenancy agreement will start from the day that the available apartment is actually available from. So there's no like specific date like mentioned beforehand. So once there is an available apartment which is being offered to you, then it will be mentioned on the offer email when the agreement would start. And indeed, you cannot apply for from any certain month onwards. That's something that you cannot affect. And just like with the other one, also you can get only one offer per application when you apply. And as I mentioned, now in the springtime, there will be more apartments and less applicants, but the situation will change very quickly after May when all the new students will have their acceptances. About the offer, as mentioned, you will receive the possible room or apartment offer always via email, and the sender will be asuntotoimisto@toas.fi. All the instructions that you need to know will be found from that email, so you don't need to know these beforehand. The email will tell you all you need to know, what you need to do. The offer will have a deadline. It will tell you that, okay, if you want to accept the offer, send these attachments to TOAS by this deadline. So make sure that you send what is required before that deadline, because if you don't, if the offer will expire, then the offer will go. Then it's gone. So make sure that you send all the attachments as we have asked you to. There will be a couple of things that you need to send. One is, of course, the deposit payment receipt. So when you accept an offer, you pay a deposit payment. It's either 200 euros in the shared apartment. In the furnished rooms, it's 300 euros, and in the family apartments, it's 500 euros. So depending on the apartment type, that will define the amount of the deposit, but you will need to send a receipt of that when you are accepting the offer. Of course, the offer will have the information on how to pay it. Also, at this point, when you are accepting the offer, you will need to give us some kind of a student certificate or an acceptance letter from university or from Tampere that you are coming to study in. And all these attachments, we request you to send them by replying to the housing offer email. So then we can assist you further. So you can just reply to that email with your attachments. And if everything is okay and we have received them before the deadline, then we can make you a tenancy agreement and you can sign it. And now you have accepted the offer. It has become an actual tenancy agreement, and we will send it to you via email. So you will then receive an email link where you will do an online electronical signature. We use this website called Visma Sign, which basically is something that you will then go and accept the document there. And once you have done it, then it's official after that. And indeed, the link will guide you on what you need to do when signing it. And at the end of the process, before you close the signing process, you can download the tenancy agreement document already there. So you can have it like on your computer so that you know all of the address information and all the information on the tenancy agreement. But you can also, of course, later on download it. You will have this online platform in TOAS where you can check your rental balance, see your tenancy agreement information, and make sauna and laundry reservations and so on. Once your tenancy agreement will start, then you are able to use this TOAS platform, and also then you will find your tenancy agreement document there. After you have accepted the offer and we have sent you the tenancy agreement link, you will also receive a rental invoice via email. So then you are already able to make your rental payments even if you are not still here. So, and it's very important that you make sure to pay all of your rents by the deadlines that are given there. The TOAS deadline to pay the rent is always the 6th of each month. And you can of course pay like several months at once or like beforehand, or even all 6 months, 5 months that you're here. But just make sure to pay it always before the deadline. But you will receive the information once the tenancy agreement is done. But this is important that you understand that even if you have rented the apartment, we have confirmed it to you that, okay, you have a tenancy agreement, and then something changes, that your situation changes and you're not able to come here. It's you need to notify us in that situation. So we need to know that something has changed and you are not going to come, because otherwise the tenancy agreement will be valid. It will just keep on going. You will have unpaid rents there and then it will escalate. So if your arrival gets cancelled, you need to contact us immediately. And there are different tenancy agreement types. Indeed, if you have the furnished room, if you have a tenancy agreement for the furnished room, then you will have a fixed term tenancy agreement because you will be here maybe for a short time, but most of you will be longer time. So mostly it's until end of May in your case. For exchange students, it might be until the end of December. But since you will be studying longer, it's first for like 1 year tenancy agreement. But if you are applying for the unfurnished apartments, then you will have an open-ended agreement, so there will be no ending date to it. So then as long as you are a student, full-time student, you can live in the apartment, and then after graduate, you can live for 1 more year after that. But you will be notified about this when you have the tenancy agreement. About the arrival to Tampere, first of all, the keys can be taken only from our office and after the agreement has started, not before. And if you are not able to get your keys from our office during our office hours yourself, then you can ask if someone else is able to get the keys for you. For example, if your tutor is able to get the keys, but that is something that you have to discuss and ask from the tutor because they will not do it automatically. No one will take the keys automatically. That is something that you will need to organize yourself. So TOAS office is open like during the office hours. So if you're not able to get the keys yourself, ask if a tutor can and make the arrangements separately with your tutor. And of course, you can ask your university about your tutor information. They will also inform TOAS the name of your personal tutor, so you don't need to inform that. However, if you know that there will be someone else than a tutor to get your keys, then you will need to inform TOAS the name of this person via email. So send us an email that, hey, this person is coming to get my keys, and so on. And so then as we have it in email, then we are able to give the keys to the person who you authorized them to. And about the rooms, we always check our apartments and our rooms when a tenant moves out. So when you move there, when you come here, you get the keys, you go to the apartment, it should be empty, it should be clean. So there shouldn't be any extra stuff or anything there. However, if something is wrong, please contact us immediately. You can find this information on our website as well for our property maintenance department because they are like handling these apartment checkups and cleanings and everything. So they will need to know if there's something wrong with the apartment because we are having like hundreds and hundreds of people moving in and out each month. So of course, we will need to know if something is wrong in the apartment when a new tenant moves in. And a quick reminder that I wanted to show you about the Finnish lock because this is very different from many cultures, many other countries. In each apartment and always also in the room, if you're living in a shared apartment, all of the apartment and room doors will have a lock. And the lock will have a button such as this in the picture. And the placement of the small button there will define if the door will be locked or not when you close the door. So when the button is in the upper position that you can see in the picture, that means that when you close the door, it will be locked automatically. You don't need to lock it with a key or anything. It will be locked when you close it. So this is important for you to understand because if you leave your key inside the room and then you you close the door, then you get locked out without your key. So this is something that you might want to check when you come and move into your apartment. However, if it happens that you lock yourself out, you have two options. If you have an ID card with you or at least a picture of your ID, you can always come to the TOAS office when we are open and then you can borrow a spare key for free. If you don't have an ID, or if this happens in the middle of night or during the weekend, then of course the office cannot help you if we are not open. Or if you don't have an ID, then we cannot know who you are, so we cannot give you any key without an identification. So in that situation, you can call to the maintenance company of your building. They are on call 24/7. So there is a phone number on the main door, on the notice board, on the hallway, and so on, and also on the website. So you are able to always get help. You are always able to get back inside the apartment, but it might cost you if the company comes and opens the door, especially in the night. There will be a charge for it, but at least you are able to get inside. What you need to know is that, as I mentioned, that we are open on office hours. Our office can be visited from Monday to Friday from noon to 3:30. So we are open 3.5 hours from Monday to Friday. And if there are any exceptional opening hours, they will be notified on our website. And also one thing that I want to mention right now as well is that pests are very uncommon here in Finland. And if you happen to discover any of them in the room, that is something that you need to report to us immediately. And also, if you have some water leakages or anything, like something that needs to be fixed immediately, those are the kinds of things that you need to report to us by calling immediately. And then also a couple of things what we are asked sometimes on who to contact in what kind of situations. So if you have problems or faults in the apartment, you have questions about your rent, about your keys, or if you have flatmate issues, those are the kinds of things that you need to contact TOAS directly. But if, for example, something gets stolen, or if there's some kind of something illegal happening, that is something that it's not a lesser's responsibility, then it's the police, for example. So just so that you understand that there are a couple of things that are outside of our power. So those things must be contacted by the police. Those were the main things that I had to say. I'll be happy to answer your questions in the comments section. And from my part, welcome to Tampere, welcome to TOAS, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda, so much. There is some questions in the chat. I think we actually answered most of them in the chat, but there might be a couple that we maybe didn't have the information on or couldn't answer. So if you take a quick look there might be a few questions that haven't been answered either in your presentation already or in the answers that we were able to give. But thanks so much. Now on to POAS and Nelly.
Hello everyone, my name is Nelly. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, it's a bit echoey, but if you sort of keep your tone of voice high enough, then or the loudness or the volume of your voice high enough, then we can hear you.
I promise to do that. So
okay, perfect.
Just a moment, I will share my screen.
Perfect. We see it perfectly.
Thank you. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Finland, and congratulations on your study place from on my behalf as well. My name is Nelly, and I work in the other student housing company here in Tampere called POAS. And let's see what our student housing situation looks like. So today I will cover these topics. I will explain you first what is POAS, who we are, and what kind of apartments do we have, which apartments you can apply, and how to send the application, and about the application process. Then a little bit of who can get the apartment, how likely it is for you to get the apartment offer, and what to do after you have received an apartment. So POAS is another student housing company here in Tampere. We are a public company. We're 100% owned by the city of Tampere. So we are a little bit smaller than TOAS, but we do have over 2,200 apartments here in Tampere area. We are providing student housing, and we also provide housing for young employed people. So often there is a case that after you have finished your studies, I hope you will really like it in Finland and you would like to stay here so you can continue living in our apartments as the employed person as well. Since we provide reasonably priced city-owned public housing, we unfortunately do not have any apartments in the very center of the city. As Amanda was saying, the city center apartments are always more expensive. So if you are looking to stay in the very center, unfortunately, POAS does not have any housing options there. However, we have many different types of apartments in Tampere's area in general. Here you can see a little bit of pricing and different options. We have shared apartments where you have your own bedroom. So you will not be sharing a bedroom with anybody you don't know. So there will be your own bedroom. And these shared apartments, one room costs around 250 to 400 euros a month. Then we have also the studio apartments where you have your own room, own kitchen, own bedroom, but own bathroom, but there is no separate bedroom. So this is just one studio. The rents are starting from around 400 euros up to 700 euros a month. Then one bedroom apartments range between 500 to 900 euros a month, depending on the location and the size. And then we have two bedroom apartments, which starting from around 700 euros, depending on how big, how new, up to over 1,000 euros a month. In most of our apartments, heating, water, internet, electricity is usually always included in the rent. In 95% of our apartments, these are all included in the rent. So it's easier for you to plan and estimate how much per month you need for your living costs, because these costs are already covered by your rent. Unfortunately, we don't have furnished housing, almost none. We have very, very, very limited, only around 20 rooms. So unfortunately, we cannot provide furnished options. We provide these furnished rooms only for those who need accommodation for a few months. So let's say exchange period. So since you are coming here most likely to stay a little longer, a couple of years, you may want to have your own furniture. You want to make the apartment look like your own. So our apartments are unfurnished, and these are the options we suggest you to apply. Unfortunately, if you look for furnished options only, we cannot guarantee anything for you. So here you can see a couple of pictures how a typical unfurnished apartment in our buildings look like. So you can see kitchen has all the necessary things for cooking. There is a stove, there is a sink, there is a fridge. It has a flooring. So all you need to bring is the furniture. It doesn't mean that you have to bring the appliances. So for the basic cooking, everything is already there. So then what can you apply for? So since you have a study place in Tampere, you are coming to study in a university here in Tampere or University of Applied Sciences, you already fill the criteria for our apartments. So you can apply from the whole POAS selection. We don't have any specific application for students. You can apply from the entire selections. We do have apartments for employed people as well, but you can apply for those as well, because as a student, you automatically fill the criteria for whole POAS selection. So you have a wide range of apartments to apply from. Few reminders: if you come to Finland by yourself, you are planning to move alone, your family or spouse is not coming with you. One thing is that we don't give 2-bedroom apartments for one person. Those are directed for families and couples, for bigger groups. It's not possible for you to get 2 bedrooms by yourself. You can apply for studios, you can apply for 1-bedroom apartments, but we do recommend that check the rooms in the shared apartments, because those have the best availability. Less applicants, you can get the room faster. So that's the best option for you to go to. Of course, you are welcome to apply the studios and 1-bedroom apartments as well, but the availability is less. Or if you come to Finland with your spouse or family, you will naturally need more space. So then we encourage you to apply for 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms. Often we get questions asking that, is it okay for me to move to one room studio with my family? Unfortunately, we don't do that, because those studios are directed for one person, and we have to think of the minimum square footage per person, and that those are usually too small to accommodate the whole family. And therefore, we don't encourage you to apply only for studios with the family. I understand it is cheaper, but we generally don't put families into studios, because then very soon you would encounter the problem that you realize is small and noisy and such. So they are not suitable for families. So with a family or with a couple, please apply for 1 or 2 bedroom apartments. And I just have to remind you that if you get a room in a shared apartment where you are sharing with somebody else that you don't know, it's strictly forbidden that you cannot bring your family there, or girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, not even for a short term, because you understand that it is also a home of that other person who is living in another room. And it's not nice for them that they have to suddenly share their home with another family or plenty of other people. And that's not okay, because the rooms are only meant to accommodate one person. And therefore, we don't put families or couples into shared apartments, because we have to respect everybody's home and privacy, and it's not meant to share with other families. So hope you understand that unfortunately that's not a possibility. Then how to apply? Well, our application process is a bit more simple. You do the application online. You can apply anytime. You can already go there after this info session, and you can already send an application. We don't have any application periods. We have ongoing application throughout the year. But remember, it's always valid for 3 months at a time. So if you apply now, and your application will be valid 3 months from now on, it won't be any more valid in August, let's say. So later on, you would have to send another application if you wish to continue applying for housing after the application has already expired. So that's just an important thing to remember, that there's a expiration date. And on our website, you will be able to see all our apartments, but unfortunately, what you see also includes those which are already rented. So let's say 96% of our housing is usually rented. So it doesn't mean that what you see on the website, it doesn't mean that it's available. So the ones that are available or are going to be available are not separately listed there. So you will see the entire selection, all the rents, you will see apartment photos. That includes also the ones that are already rented. And as Amanda was saying, I also encourage you to be open-minded, choose as many buildings in your applications as possible, and expand your applications to other areas, not just near your campus, because in Tampere there's good public transportation connections to to the campus. So you will be able to go around with a bus or tram, even though your housing is a little bit further away from the campus, but there will be connections. So that's a best way for you to increase your chances of getting a housing. In the application, we don't have a certain date that is a fixed time when the agreement starts. So in the application, you can choose when the moving date is, when you would like to start the agreement. So please tell us when you would be moving, the date when you actually need the housing. And that's what our customer service will look at when they see the applications. So, if you are putting there that you need an apartment from September, then the apartment will be offered starting from September. You will not get it from August, or you will not get it from summer. So this is an important thing. Let us know when you actually would like to move. In the application, you can already attach the letter of approval since you already have it. It's not necessary, but it will make the process a lot faster if you can already provide the attachments. But as I will show you soon, you can also attach them later, and it'll be okay. But you can already do it at this point if you want to. And one more time about moving with your family or spouse. You need to tell us everyone who is coming. You need to provide everyone's details in the application. So you have to provide the information of children also. Of course, children will not be signing the rental agreement, but landlord legally must know who is moving into the apartment so that we can estimate how big apartment you need. And that's why everybody's information must be in the agreement. However, it doesn't mean that your spouse needs to fill the tenant criteria. So as long as you are already qualified as a student here in Tampere, only one person needs to meet this criteria, and you already qualify for that. So that'll be enough. So who can get the apartment then? So this is a major difference between TOAS and us, that we do not have queuing system. Unfortunately, there will be no way for you to check what is your queue position, what is your waiting time, because we make all our tenant selections based on urgency and the reason why you need an apartment. This means that people who are coming from outside, they have a valid reason why they need housing in Tampere. Let's say your studies are starting, you are moving from abroad. It is very urgent, it's a valid reason that you need a housing in Tampere. So you will be prioritized. But unfortunately, there will be thousands other applicants also. So you will not be the only one who is prioritized. So here I wanted to provide you some numbers so that you can also get some idea that how likely it is for you to get the apartment offer. We get around 2,000 applications during summertime. And from our entire apartment selections, around 100, 150 becomes available every month. So this means that unfortunately only 10% of those applicants who apply during summertime can get the apartment offer from us. So your case will be prioritized, but however, unfortunately we don't have apartments for everyone. Then another difference, if you have sent an application and you are waiting for offer, you're waiting to hear something from us, unfortunately, you don't necessarily get a response. We don't have the resources to answer personally to all the 2,000 applicants we have around in the summertime, but we will only contact in those cases if we have the apartment to offer. Apartment offers will be always sent by email, and you will have time to respond to it. So, you don't have to be worrying about whether you will miss a phone call or something. We will contact by email. And similar to TOAS, you have only one application which is valid at the time. So if you send an application tomorrow, applying for an apartment by yourself, and in a few weeks you you and your friend, you agree, let's apply for an apartment together. You are not able to continue applying both together and with your friend. You have only one valid application at the time. And if you send another one, the first one will expire. So that's a very important thing to remember. So if you have sent an application today or tomorrow, and you will send another one, the first one will expire. However, all the applications will expire in 3 months. And that is because as I said, we select the tenants based on the urgency. So after 3 months, we need to sort of evaluate your urgency again, because we cannot consider you as an urgent if your application is like you are now applying for an apartment for after 6 months. So if you are still in need for housing 3 months from now, you have already sent an application and it has expired, please send another application so we can see that you are still in need for housing and your situation is still urgent. So when you receive the apartment offer, what to do? So first, congratulations, you have received an email of the apartment. You are among the about 10% who were able to get the housing, so that's great. But however, since we have considered that you are the urgent person, you have the need for housing, we expect you to accept the offer. If you don't accept the offer or you reject the apartment, you will no longer be urgent. So there will be no more chances of getting another apartment offer. Let's say if you would like to change to another building, it's considered as another offer, and that doesn't unfortunately, it doesn't qualify as an urgent anymore, since you already have one offer, and after that there will be no more offers. So this is why it's very important for you that when you make the application in the beginning, choose the buildings carefully, choose the ones that you are actually willing to move to. If you have not sent the application attachments, then you can send them at this point. So we will check, we will ask your attachments by email. You can send them separately now. So no worries if you have not provided them in the application, you have still a chance to send them later. And that's why you don't need to have them in the beginning. So we can still make the agreement, and that can be also signed electronically. So you will get a signing request from us, and you don't need to be physically here to sign the rental agreement. As Amanda was also mentioning, rent payment starts from the day when your rental agreement starts. But here, the important thing is that if you have provided us the day when you would like to move in our apartments, you can also start your agreement from the middle of the month. If you are coming to Finland, let's say 20th of August, you can state in your application that you would need housing from 20th of August, and you can start the agreement from the middle of the month as well. Of course, it depends on the apartment availability. We cannot guarantee that, but that's why it's very important for you to at least provide the date so we can see from which date you would like to start your agreement. Because after the agreement is signed, unfortunately, it's already been signed, it's binding, there will be no changes at that point. So then you cannot anymore negotiate on the starting date. And we would also like to remind you that our rents are already reasonably priced, and that's something that cannot be negotiated when the agreement is made. Each apartment's rent is calculated based on the actual costs of the building there, so it's not negotiable. When you have made the rental agreement, we will send you the receipt for paying the deposit. So deposit has to be paid beforehand. And there are slightly different amounts depending on the apartment size. You can see the amounts here. So deposit is between 200 euros and 450 euros. And this is very essential that the deposit is paid before you get the keys. So if you are in the office or you have sent somebody in our office to pick up the keys for you, if the deposit is not paid, unfortunately, the keys will not be handed over. So remember to take care of the deposit payment and provide the receipt of the deposit payment to us. And if you cannot personally be receiving the keys, you can send somebody else. You can send tutor, you can send your friend, you can send your family member. If there is somebody who can help you with that, that's something you must arrange yourself. But from our point of view, all we need is a letter of attorney. So you need to provide a piece of paper saying that you authorize this other person on your behalf to come to get the keys. And we already have a template of the power of attorney that we can provide to you. So you can arrange somebody else to pick up the keys for you if necessary, but just remember the letter of attorney. And another thing is just a reminder of the keys also, that keys cannot be collected before the rental agreement begins. So if your rental agreement begins on Monday and you are arriving the weekend before, then you won't be able to get the keys yet. The keys will be given over earliest on the first day of your rental agreement. So earliest on that exact Monday. So therefore, it's very important for you to state the actual date when you would like to move in, so that's the day when you also get the keys. That's all from my perspective. After you receive the apartment offer and you sign the rental agreement, you will have our customer service who is available helping you, and you will always have people to contact. So all of those things when you actually move in will be told to you at that time when you are coming to our office and when you are physically getting the keys or when you are moving in, and you will get a lot of instructions in the email. So that's something that you can take a look at that time. But for now, I would like to thank you, and once again, welcome to Finland.
Thank you, Nelly, so much. I think we are actually sort of slowly running out of time, and I've been following the chat and trying to answer to some of the questions and so forth. I think we have actually covered everything either in the chats or in your presentations, yours and Amanda's. Again, thank you so much. And if somebody has sort of a personal type of a question that they want to ask, do use your email, send your question to the housing providers or to your university. But I think we sort of need to stop now since the 1 hour is gone. So thank you for everyone's active participation, and naturally, big thank you to you guys, Amanda and Nelly.